Hi guys, welcome to my in-depth wedding makeup tutorial. I actually can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe that I get married in a few hours. We need to get onto this makeup. I do not want to be rushed whilst doing my wedding makeup. Okay, so before we do anything, we're going to do brows. I always do my brows before I moisturize my face because it always grips onto my skin much better. When you have moisturizer on your face and then you do your brows, I feel like they don't last throughout the day and we need these brows to last. If you guys know me, then you know that I like to have my brows in control. They're kind of hard to manage. So I'm going to be using this today, Honey Glue. I completely forgot the name. I'm just going to take some of the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and spray it onto it. And then I will be taking this really crusty brush, guys. I actually refuse to clean this eyebrow brush. I feel like when it's clean, it just doesn't do the job. Like I need it to be filthy. So I'm just gonna brush that product into my brows backwards and then we're gonna smooth it down. This way it keeps your brows together much better. So even though this is a brow soap, we're not necessarily going for the soap brow look where it's all like spiky. It just keeps my brows in control. I'm gonna go ahead and brush that product into my brows and you guys can see in real time how it's slicking those back. And then I'm gonna just create some shape with my brows. I'm gonna bring these lower brow hairs downwards. I honestly can't believe I'm getting married, guys. Like it doesn't even feel real. Genuinely, it feels like I'm just getting ready for an event or something. But in a few hours, I will be going to my wedding. It's so weird. Once I have the shape down that I want, I'm gonna go ahead and take the back of the brush and just lay down those edges so that they're not spiky. I'm hoping that I have enough time because I've given myself an hour and a half to get ready. It was meant to be 2 hours, but things happen. You can see how I've created that shape and I don't really need to go in and do much work, but I am also blessed with nice eyebrows, so I know that's just a silly thing for me to say. This is probably the most important next step. You need to take some micellar water, take some tissue and clean around the edges of the eyebrow, because if you don't, you're gonna have crusty white things around your eyebrows and it's gonna look terrible. So do not forget this step if you're going to use brow soap. Make sure you get right to the edge without disturbing the eyebrow. I've completely forgot to moisturize my lips. I'm going to take some of the Rhode Peptide Lip Treatment. Moisturize my lips to get them ready for lipstick later. Nobody wants to put on lipstick and then have crusty lips. Okay, so I still have some sparse areas of the brow, so I'm going to take a brow pen. These ones are from Juvia's Place and I'm going to use two different shades, dark brown and chocolate. I'm going to focus dark brown on the edges of my eyebrows because I want them to be the same color as my eyebrow. But when it comes to the center of your face, you don't want to go too dark. That's where I'm going to use the shade chocolate. Some light flicking motions. This is the shade chocolate. I don't want to go too dark with this, literally just in any little sparse areas. We are going to carve out these brows, but we won't be doing it at the top. We're just going to focus that concealer underneath when it comes to eyes, which we will be starting with first. Whenever I'm doing this kind of makeup where like it's for an occasion, I start with eyes first because you do not want fallout onto your skin. You have more control because you can lean against your face. Okay, so onto eyes, we're going to be taking the P. Louise eye base. Of course, I mean, I use this every single time I'm doing an eye look that I actually care about. Like more times, guys, I don't actually do eye makeup. I just put some like cream bronzer on my eyelids and call it a day. We're obviously trying today, so we're gonna take some of this. This is really good as a base for your eyeshadow. It's really gonna make those eyeshadow shades pop. But first, we need to take some moisturizer and moisturize our eyelids because we do not want a dry patch. I'm just taking some of the Charlotte Tilbury. This is gonna be my moisturizer of the day. I use this moisturizer every single time I do my makeup. I know it, I trust it. It performs really well underneath makeup. Also going to be using this to carve out underneath our eyebrow. It's going to act as a good base, but you also don't want to put on too much where your eyelids are going to crease as the day goes on. Bring that concealer all the way up to your nose because we want to be able to blend to our heart's desire. This beauty blender is going to be your best friend today. We're going to be doing a lot of work with this. You want to dampen it with hot water and then squeeze out all of the water. Like take a tissue, squeeze it out. You don't want it to be wet. That is so important. Make sure it's just damp and like very squishy. You're going to blend that concealer to make sure that it is going to make your eyeshadow look seamless. You don't want it to be streaky on your eyes. So if I had to summarize the makeup look that we're going for today, I'm going for timeless. Like I want to look natural and timeless. The face, the base is gonna be beat, like we're gonna do a face beat, but the eyes, I want it to be super natural, super timeless. I'm really focusing on shape, and for that reason I have brought these two palettes. It was so hard to decide which palettes that I would use and I couldn't really take them all because obviously I'm doing my wedding abroad. Jordana Tisha palette and the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I think it's pretty obvious why I brought this palette. It's got all of the nudes you would ever need, and then just in case I wanted something kind of pinky, a little bit soft, I've brought the Rose Quartz palette. And then just in case also if I do decide that I don't want to go matte, we've got this as well. This is the cream bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury, and we're going to dip into this and work that into the outer corner of our eye. V-shaped motion. We don't want to go too close to the brow because we want this part to be highlighted. Bring it along this way ever so slightly as well. This is going to do most of the work for us, so we don't need to work as hard to intensify that eyeshadow. And we're going to dip into this shade here. It's a very neutral brown. I don't want to go for anything red, and we're going to continue to blend it in that same area. You guys can see that we're already starting to create a shade. Now we're going to take a smaller fluffy brush, and then we're going to mix in the shades Divinity and Temperance. I'm just contemplating whether to do a little bit of an eyeshadow liner. I think we will, a very soft one. You're going to find the skinniest brush you own. We want this to be super soft, so we're going to use this shade right here. I'm going to follow the natural direction of my lower lash line, not my top lash line, my lower lash line, and bring it up into that little eyelid crease. How pretty is that? It's very subtle, but it shapes the eye. Now I'm taking a black eyeshadow and just aligning the part of my eyelid that is my lash line. Why was that so difficult to say? Basically as close as possible to the lash line with a black, because once we put on eyelashes we want it to look seamless. We're going to use this shade right here on the eyelids, and we're taking it just into the crease of our eye. I want to use a pink because I just want to open up and brighten that area of my eye. Okay, I think we're pretty much done with the eyes. Obviously we have to put our lashes on and then do the eyeshadow underneath, but we can't really do that until we do the rest of the makeup. And now we get onto base, which is my absolute favorite part of my makeup. Okay, so I've gone ahead and moisturized my skin with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I told you guys that's what I use all the time. Our primers of choice today, the YSL Touche Éclat primer. I can't describe how this feels. I always tell everybody, like, if you feel it in between your fingers, it feels like no texture. So this is what I like to use because it just makes my skin look like it has no texture as well. And this is the NARS Cosmetics matte primer. We're gonna use this one first. It's kind of like jelly. Rub it in between my fingers, and make sure you guys get into the crevices like the nose. Make sure you are hydrating the under eyes and getting those primed. Okay, now we're gonna take the NARS primer and we're gonna focus this on the areas that I tend to get shiny, which is usually my T-zone. So right here and right here. Unfortunately for me, I've had quite a few breakouts. I mean, I came here with clear skin, and then I think the wedding stress really got to me. Honestly, just don't get married, guys. Like, the stress is actually insane. I really thought I was gonna come here and be chill because I was so stressed in the UK planning this here. I was like, yeah, I'll come and there's not gonna be much to do. I literally only just about last night at 11 p.m. finished getting everything ready. And then to finish off our skin prep, I'm gonna use some of the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Hydrator Mist. This is actually a brand new product from them. Always cover the eyebrows and then spray that on. It's very refreshing. The reason that we cover the eyebrows is because we don't want to get them wet, because then they'll start to move. I mean, it is soap after all. I would literally be washing my face. We want this foundation to make our skin look like skin, but perfect skin. With that being said, like I said, I have a few blemishes, so in order to accomplish that and achieve that, we're gonna have to spot conceal, because I need to get full coverage on these spots with a lighter layer around my face, if that makes sense. We're gonna take the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. This stuff is super full coverage, and we're gonna take a flat concealer brush. I know this looks like it's not really my shade, but my face is in the same shade as the rest of my body because I wash my face so much, so my tan has kind of washed off from my face. We want to let this concealer dry onto these areas before we go in with the foundation. To really set this in place, we're going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Sit and Mist and just put that on the concealer. So whilst we let this concealer set, we're going to go in with a color corrector. I don't usually use color correctors, but I actually, at a masterclass that was held by Sophia Tilbury, and she used this from Charlotte Tilbury. It's their 2 medium color corrector. She made me realize how important color correcting is. It does so much work for you. Like, the one thing that you realize about makeup, it's not about putting lots on, it's about using the right products and the right amount of the products. We're actually going to start here. We want to lift the edges of the mouth. I have a little bit of discoloration here, so we're going to try and fix that. The edges of the mouth tend to be a little bit grey. We're also going to go underneath the eyes, but I want to do a super light layer of this because you don't want to put too much product underneath your eyes, otherwise they will crease. No matter what you do, your concealer will always crease if you put too much on. You guys can see the difference. Okay, time for foundation. I love all 4 of these foundations, so we're gonna make a little foundation cocktail. This one is the YSL Touche Éclat. I love this. I would probably wear this on its own if it was my shade, but I think it's a little bit too dark for me now. Clé de Peau, I don't know how they pronounce it. This is just a stunning foundation, but again, too dark for me. The Mario Surreal Skin, gorgeous, love it. Probably the one that's closest to my shade. And then the Shiseido Synchro Skin. So we're gonna mix these all together. This is a bit too light for me. We're gonna try and get our perfect shade. I'm honestly not too concerned about shade matching because I'm pretty much covered up with my dress, but we're obviously going to try and get as close as possible. So we're gonna dot this around our face, and we do not want to disturb the concealer that has been sitting underneath. And then we're gonna go ahead and blend it all together with a brush. This one is from L'Oreal Laura Mercier, and we're gonna pat it into the skin. We're not gonna do swirls. And then we're gonna go in with the Beauty Blender. I'm gonna go ahead and do that because my camera's out of charge, so I'm gonna charge that and come back to you guys with my foundation done. Okay, so I know I said that I would come back when my foundation is done, and as you guys can see, there's a lot more on my face, but I quickly realized that I don't actually have that much time. So I blended in the foundation like I told you guys, and then I went in with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer and just kind of put it up in an upwards motion towards my temples. And now we're going in with these blushes from e.l.f. They're the putty primers, the putty blushes, sorry, Tahiti, and then this is in the shade Bora Bora. I'm focusing this one, which is a bit darker and more rosy, on the apples of my cheek, and then this kind of Barbie pink on the more high points. And now we're gonna go in with our concealer. We're gonna be using two different shades of concealer. This one's in the shade Cookie Dough, and this one's in the shade Royal Icing. So we're going to use Cookie Dough just to kind of cancel out any darkness. I know we did go in with the color corrector, so we're not going to need too much of this. And then this is going to brighten the under eyes. I don't want to put on too much, so instead of going straight with the applicator, I'm going to take a flat concealer brush. I'm going to use this shade to cut my nose contour and not the brightening shade, because that's going to be way too harsh and I want this nose contour to look very natural. Using a concealer brush just gives you so much more control. We're doing the forehead, we're doing the nose, underneath the eyes with this brightening concealer, some on the chin, and just underneath here. We want to brighten these areas of the face. I'm going to let the concealer sit on my face, gather some coverage, and then I'm going to blend it out and then powder it with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder. So this is it. It's the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the shade Cupcake. Next time you guys see me, the concealer will be blended. This will be on my face. Time to catch you guys up on the makeup. As you guys can see, my hair is completely done. By the way, looks beautiful. I'm sorry that this tutorial has turned into this. I was giving you guys so much detail in the beginning, but now this is where we're at. But for the blush, we've gone in with the Laura Mercier blushes. This is in Chai and in Rose. And then for bronzer, we have been using the NARS Laguna 05. So now I'm gonna go in with my mascara. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Waterproof Mascara because there might be tears today, so we need to make sure that's waterproof. I'm just kind of brushing that into my lashes in a zigzag motion, and I'm focusing it on the ends of my lashes, not at the root, otherwise it's going to drag my lashes down and I want them to just kind of stand up today. And then we will add our lashes. These are the lashes that we're going to be using. They are the Lily lashes in Lavish, which is kind of relevant for today because we want to look lavish. I'm going to cut them into half lashes because I don't want to do a full lash and I just don't have the energy to even attempt to do a full lash today. Lashes are on. We're doing our lips now. The lip liner is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Pencil in Iconic Nude. So this is the lipstick. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. I tried so many different lipsticks. I tried so many different lip shades, but once I put this one on, there was no other option. Like, it was gonna be this shade or nothing. We're gonna do a final setting spray.
Yeah, I do that, yeah.
I'm sorry guys, I know there's so much like chaos going on right now, but this is what it is. I'm doing my wedding makeup. This is the truth. Do you know how chill this video started off as?
Oh, you should see my TikTok.
Oh, but we're basically ready, guys. Well, we are ready. The makeup is done. I hope you guys like it because I'm gonna go now.